beauties, so today we're going to be doing a get ready with me video. I just wanted to do this video to share some new products with you guys and kind of, just hang out and get ready together. So let's get started. I have a few new products that I really wanted to try out with you guys, and so let's jump right into the video. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my face, and I'm going to go back to one of my old favorites, which is the Too Faced Hangover Primer. This is definitely more of like a hydrating primer. So I'm just going to squeeze a couple pumps and just apply it all over my face, just to kind of give a little bit more moisture to my skin and to prime it for a perfect base for my foundation. Now, after that hydrating primer, I'm actually going to go in with the Milk Stick, and this is definitely more of like a silicone primer, and I'm just going to apply this on the areas where I have like bigger pores. So right here under the eyes, a little bit on my forehead, and maybe my chin a little bit, and I'm going to just pat that in a little bit, just to fill in my pores. And then after that, we're going to try the new foundation, the Peach Perfect foundation. I actually purchased this online, so it was really hard to shade match. I got it in the shade light beige, but I feel like it's a little bit too yellow toned for me. And I'm going to use the new Fenty Beauty foundation brush by Rihanna. This is what it looks like. It's a super sturdy, super good quality of a feel of a brush. And I'm going to take this little seal off. And I actually haven't used this brush yet, but it is the softest brush I have used in a while. The bristles are super tightly packed, and it's just the softest quality ever. And I feel like it's a very sturdy brush. So let's go ahead and apply that. I'm just going to go ahead and pump a little bit of the foundation on my hand, and then go in, kind of dot it all over my face. And this foundation is a little bit yellow toned compared to what I'm usually used to, but I'm just going to use it and use like a lighter concealer to kind of brighten my face. So I'm going to just go in and start blending that into my face and into my skin. And this brush feels so soft. It's amazing. I love this brush already. And I'm just going to blend it everywhere. And I'm just going to blend it in. And I actually have seen reviews of this foundation that it smells really like peaches. It doesn't really have that strong of a peach scent, so I don't really mind it. It is kind of medium to full coverage. And it also might be this foundation brush, but the finish of it is really nice. Kind of more of like a dewier finish, not completely matte. But I do like a semi-matte foundation as well. Now for concealer, I am going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape. I actually have two shades. One is in light sand and the other one is in light. So I'm kind of just going to mix the two shades together and apply it just to kind of lighten this foundation up a little bit, just because it is a little bit more yellow toned. So I'm going to apply it right here. Then I'm going to take the other shade, which is light sand, and I'm going to kind of dot it in between. And this concealer is definitely very pigmented, and it's one of my, holy grail concealers. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend this in. And I love the coverage that this concealer gives me. It's a perfect, really nice coverage concealer. And I'm going to put some on my eyelids just as kind of like a primer almost. I'm going to blend it down a little bit just to brighten my foundation, since it's not like the exact correct shade for me. Now I do feel like I overdid it with the concealer a little bit because it is pretty light now, but I'm going to fix that with a little bit of bronzer. And so for the setting powder, I'm going to use the new Urban Decay Velvetizer. Tati actually talked about this, that it's a mix-in medium powder where you can mix it into your foundation to make it a little bit more full coverage, but I'm just going to use it as a setting powder. So you open it up, it has this really nice velvety touch, and it has a little sifter. And so what I'm going to do is just tap a little bit of this into my brush and kind of set my under eye and just my face slightly a little bit, just because the concealer is not matte. And so I want it to have a little bit more of a matte finish. It does seem like a really nicely finely milled powder, so I do enjoy that. It's kind of more of like a silky finish, and it makes your skin feel so nice, and it's not too kind of cakey looking on my skin, and so I do really enjoy this powder. Now we're gonna move on to bronzer, so I'm gonna use this Cheek Parade palette to use the bronzer that's in here, which is this Hoola bronzer, and I'm just gonna go in with a big fluffy brush, and I really like this brush that I think we received in the BoxyCharm, and I'm just gonna dip into this bronzer a little bit and bronze up my cheeks, and it gives like a really pretty kind of bronzed look, which I absolutely really like. And then I'm gonna go down the bridge of my nose a little bit, and then maybe on the parameters of my face, just to kind of bronze things up. Okay. Now that the bronzer's on, I'm going to use this new blush palette from Tarte. I absolutely love this variety of different blush tones, especially because it has more peachier tones in here and more like reddish than like hot pink. But you have like a perfect variety. You have like a highlighter shade or two of them even, and I really like this palette overall. These two are my favorite shades right here. So I'm going to go in with a blush brush, and I'm gonna just go in and dip into these two shades and kind of mix them around because I do like a peachier cheek. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this and just apply this on the apples of my cheeks, and it gives this like perfect kind of glowy, just glowy look. Alright, now for the highlight, what I'm going to do is go into the same palette and use this shade right here. I'm not really sure what they're called. It's called Whimsical, actually. And I'm going to go in with the stippling brush, and I'm just going to apply this on like the C curves of my cheeks right here, and then on the other side. And then I'm going to put a little bit over my lip. Alright, so that's it for my base. I'm going to go in and fill in my eyebrows with this pen that we also received in like a BoxyCharm subscription, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that my eyebrows are on, we're going to go into this new eyeshadow palette by Makeup Forever, and this is what it actually looks like. It's a very nice kind of neutral toned of a palette. I really do enjoy the quality of the shadows. My only concern is that the packaging has no mirror, and the fact that it has like two sides to it and two little components, it's a little pain in the butt, but you can always put it like underneath. And another observation I have is I put this little sticker on that came from the inside of the palette protecting the shadows, because the actual like material of the top is a very kind of rubbery texture, so I feel like this will kind of protect it from getting dirty and whatnot. So let's jump into these shadows. And before I start applying, how are you guys doing? Like, do you guys have any plans for Halloween yet? I actually think I decided on what like costume I'm gonna be this year, but I'm not gonna spoil it yet. I'm gonna probably tell you guys in a future video, but it's something really kind of unique and creative that I want to do for Halloween. Are you guys doing anything special? Like, are you guys still like going like either trick-or-treating with, you know, either like younger kids, or are you guys, you know, going out to, you know, celebrate and party with your friends? Let me know in the comments below, because I'd be really interested to know. And also, what I wanted to mention is I've been watching the show How I Met Your Mother. Oh my gosh, I've been so hooked on that show. I'm like on season 5, and I watch it whenever I can. Like whenever I come back from work and I'm super tired, right before I go to bed, I'll watch like an episode or two. It's a really funny show. I don't know, I feel like Robin is a funny, you know, Canadian. Barney is just, you know, out of this world. And I do really enjoy Ted's character as well, because he's like a very history-oriented architect. And then you have Lily and Marshall, which they are the cutest couple ever. So it's a good, funny show. And so that's the show I've been watching lately. Is there any shows you guys have been watching? Let me know in the comments below. And so let's continue this little get ready with me. I'm going to go into the lightest shade right here and kind of just set my eyelids and, you know, get a little bit of a transition shade. I'm not going to use a primer today because I did use the concealer over my eyelids, so I'm just going to leave it at that and kind of set it with this shade. All right, now I'm gonna go in to this really nice red right here, or like a burgundy, and I'm just gonna apply it on my brush, really small amount, and kind of tap it off because these are super pigmented shadows. And I'm just gonna work that into the crease a little bit more on the outer portion of my lid, and almost drag it down on the bottom a little bit just to give that kind of definition. And I'm just gonna blend that in a little bit. And then do the same thing to the other eye. All right, now I'm gonna take a deeper shade, this brown right here, and I'm gonna try to darken the crease a little bit more, only on the outer portion of my lid, and kind of just gently drag it just to kind of, you know, emphasize the crease of my eyelid. And slightly blend it out just to give a little bit more of like a smokier look. Also, I wanted to mention I went to the LUSH store for the first time ever this week, and if you stay to the end of this video, I will include like a clip of me going around the store a little bit. I've never been, you know, inside a LUSH store. And for those of you who have never heard of LUSH, it's more of like a supernatural bath and body products store. So they have like really cool bath bombs and lotions and all kinds of natural and handmade products. So I will go ahead and share my little haul maybe at the end of the video, and I'll include a clip of the actual store. You go in and the first thing that hits you is the scent and the smell, because you have all the bath bombs kind of laying around in big baskets, and they all have a different scent, and it just smells so wonderful in that store. And I'll share with you guys like what I purchased closer to the end of this video if you're interested. And so right now, after I have this, I'm gonna go into this little really shimmery shade right here, and I'm just gonna apply this on the top of my lid with my finger because I feel like shimmers do apply the best with the finger. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. And I feel like that's it for the shadow. That's all I'm gonna do. It gives you kind of more of like a smokier look, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Now for the mascara, I'm actually gonna use the Troublemaker new mascara from Urban Decay. I am not the biggest fan of this mascara. I've already used it a few times, and it's very kind of clumpy, but it does give you kind of, you know, longer lashes, but it does clump up when you try to layer. I even tried to test it and go to the gym with it because it does claim that it's like waterproof and all these other claims that it's claiming, but it's not one of my favorites. But I'll use it just so you guys can see the results with it. It does give you nice lashes. It just, I feel like, I don't know, I just don't really like the clumping of it, because I do go for like a more natural look with lashes usually, and I like the length more than volume personally, as a personal preference. So it does look nice, but I do feel like it clumps up a little bit when you try to layer it. Now for eyeliner, I'm going to use one of my holy grails, which is the Kat Von D Everlasting Liner, and I feel like I go back to it every single time I test out new eyeliner, either high-end or drugstore. I feel like this liner is something I can definitely count on. It's the best, and I feel like it's everlasting, not only like on your eyes, but it's everlasting because I've had a couple of these in the past, and they've lasted me like half a year without drying up. So like they last a really long time, and I absolutely love it. So I'm just gonna do like a side wing real quick. And I feel like it's really easy to use as well, just because it is a brush tip instead of like a felt tip. Alright, and so that's it for the eyes. Now for the lips, I'm going to go back to one of my old favorites, which is the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade Lolita. I feel like this was so hyped back in the day, and now with everything new coming out, people kind of have forgotten about it. But it's a beautiful shade, so that's what I'm going to use on my lips. It's a very kind of neutral, warm toned of a nude that's darker a little bit. And as last step, I am going to set my face with like a setting spray, and I have some of my favorites is the All Nighter, which has a double pack right now at Sephora for a discounted price, or my Caudalie elixir, which I absolutely love and has been one of my favorites for a very long time. So I'm just gonna spray this. Ooh, something got in my mouth. All over my face, just to kind of set my foundation and my powder. And I love the way this smells. It has kind of more of like a eucalyptus herbal scent to it, and just smelling it is just so relaxing. Now let me go ahead and share a LUSH haul with you guys, what I purchased. I only got like 3 things from them, but it is, you know, I could even, the bag itself smells so good. They gave me a little handbook with all the like different things, and I feel like this is a great, you know, like a holiday gift store where you can give someone like a really nice smelling bath bomb, depending on what kind of scents they like, if you know what they're familiar with. And so let's go ahead. I bought this rainbow soap, which I've been wanting to try for so long, but every time I try to buy it online, it's already sold out. And so this is more of like a rainbow Play-Doh soap where you can take this and kind of shape it, and I feel like it's an awesome thing to do with little kids, because you can take it and, you know, play with it and create all kinds of different, you know, Play-Doh shapes and objects, and then your kiddos can play with it in the bathtub. So that's awesome. So I'm definitely gonna play around with this, and it's great because every single item in LUSH is handmade, and it gives you a little sticker of the person that handmade it, and it gives you a little bit of information of the actual person that put this together. And so it's very kind of personalized, and I really enjoy that about them. And the other thing I got is a bath bomb that looks like this. I feel like this is like a tropical coconut paradise. It smells just amazingly awesome, and it has little stars, and they're all handmade, and I absolutely love it because all the ingredients in it are really natural as well. And the other bath bomb I got is a Halloween version. It has a little like pumpkin on it, as you guys can see. And this one smells a lot more like a citrusy, maybe a little bit of cinnamon, but it's not too like holiday, you know, like pumpkin spice, but it has a little bit more of like a citrus undertone to it, and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to use these. I'll update you guys on, you know, how they were once I use them. But that'd be it. If you guys want to stay tuned, I'll show you guys a little bit of the inside of the LUSH store. I'll include the clips right here. And so thank you guys so much for joining me today and for hanging out. I will be filming a few more videos this weekend, so I will have a couple unboxings for you guys. And I'm also thinking of doing like a Halloween week where I want to do kind of makeup tutorials for Halloween. If you guys would be interested in that, if you guys have any requests, I'm already thinking of doing Joker, maybe Harley Quinn. I'm thinking of doing a couple more, maybe like a skull, maybe like an animal, kind of, you know, just makeup fun tutorials. So let me know if you guys have any requests. And so thank you guys for joining me. Lots of love for me to use. Stay happy, stay positive, and let's go to LUSH. Thank you. Mwah. So I have actually never been to LUSH before, and look at you guys. It smells so wonderful in here. I wish you guys could smell it. But they have all kinds of balms for lips. They have a whole section over there in the back for beauty, and then they have the biggest variety of bath bombs ever. I actually purchased a few, so we will see. They smell so amazing. They have all kinds of different ones for Christmas, and they have some for holidays and for Halloween out as well. This one is all like glittery sparkles, and they all smell amazing. There's a teddy bear one. Those ones smell amazing. I think I'm gonna actually pick one of those up. They're great. Oh my gosh, and then I made a loop around, and look at these cute little snowmen. They're just adorable. And they have little stars, little roses, different ones. They have star and pink versions up here. They even have little fidget spinner ones. How cool is that?